Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all humans. Who is first? Oh, Lemon, 1980. Hello, you're the first one. And I'm live. Hopefully it's all working. If it's working, let me know. If it's not working, let me know too. Why this strand of hair is like this? Why? How are you all doing? We're at the middle of May. Next month will be half year mark of 2023. Time flies. Aries fairies, hello. Multi-Stan94, hello. Ginny, hello. The pink hand thing, is that like right now a popular one? Why everyone has a pink hand? Betty Davis, hello. Sleepyhead, hello. Ember, hello. Trying to read. Cherry Panda, huh? That's interesting. Hi, Pan, hi. All the names, okay? I can't read them all. Too fast, okay. Anyway, hi, how are you? This is the May 2023 monthly live stream from AppNewX. Hope the weather is treating you kindly on your part of the planet. This year we got a warmer spring for sure. I remember so clearly. Last year was till end of June where I am. That it was warm. Hi, you managed to catch my live stream. Hey, yay! From the beginning, yes. That was like so. That was so cold. And this year finally we got a very warm. Comparatively speaking, it got warmer earlier. Starts to get quite a lot of leafy stuff out now. Spring, which means it's in time for the cankerworms to get a feast. The leaves would be all out when they are all coming out too. So I have a bad feeling about in a week or two I will be so scared to go out of my house because it will be raining caterpillars. It will be raining them. And they have black hairs. Oh, really? YouTube send oh, that's cool. send you notifications. Occasionally it works, very occasionally. When's the review coming? I probably wouldn't make another one because this is a really short drama, right? And I made it around episode 8, so it has 4 more episodes. And then I almost have nothing to change about my first impression of it, really. After I've watched the whole thing, it's just a 3 gold mine drama. And if I talk more, I would just say it's all very, very good. And then the male lead did get better at crying towards the end, I have to say. Like, his crying scenes improve steadily. The first couple of episodes when he cries, it's like, it needs a bit work. Until the end, it's like, okay, fine, now it's all working, good. So that's the improvement part. Everything else is pretty much like good all through. Like, I made an edit. That's my way of saying it's my final review, which is it's a great drama and therefore I edit something for it. You know, if a drama is not good enough and it doesn't, I don't have reason enough to make a video on it, then to make an edit on it, then you don't see an edit from me. It's the simplest way of telling how much I love a drama is like see how many edits I've made for it. Also to do with like how big the drama is. If it's a 40 episodes drama, it has enough content, you can make more. But if it's only 12 episodes, you know, there's only that much thing you can distill from, right? So the length and how much I like it kind of creates basically eventually how many, or plus like how many good songs I can find for the edits. Sometimes you just have an idea, but you cannot find the perfect music to go with it, so you don't make it. This one though, if you haven't watched my edit on my second channel on Oh No, Here Comes Trouble, go and watch it. Because I found the perfect freaking song in the whole freaking world for this drama. The perfect lyrics. It's like written for the drama. And I was so shocked when I found that song. Like, the first verse, when I saw all the words, I'm like, wow! It's like, I have to make an edit. Otherwise I just like, I make, you know, like, it would be my fault to not make it. to not make that video in this timeline of universe, because I would have sinned for not making that video. It is that perfect. "32 degrees. Well, it's not too bad. I mean, summer gets bad when it hits 40, in my opinion. That's like when it's just no longer bearable for any humans, no matter where you're born, you know. When it's 32, it's like, expect it. 15 degrees. We got a bit rain last night and it's cold today, about 11, 12, but tomorrow it's gonna go back to 25 or something. The Love You Give Me, I'll think about it. I've watched it. I've watched through it because it's those two. You know, those two, they should just get married. Wang Ziqian and Wang Yuwen, they should just get married for real, because they even have a kid in the drama where the kid looks like biological kid from these two actors. The top of the face of the kid looks like the guy, and then the bottom half looks like the girl. Like, if they walk out and faking that they are actually a family, nobody would even have a question about that. Wang Ziqi, Wang Yuwen, and the kid, they really look like biologically related. It's just so funny. Where did they find that actor? It's just magic. Hold on. I took a peek and I got so shocked about how bad it is that I quit. Sorry. It was my question marks were like, who wrote the script? What an annoying character you make for your lead character. If that's if her role for Gen Z, if it's a real person you encounter in life, you're just gonna kick her and it's like, get out of my life, disappear. I don't want to be friends with you. I don't even want to be associated with you. You go sort out your own life, okay? Scriptwriters, come on. Trying to make your character having a character does not mean you have to write them as jerks. 注意侯明昊 is, yeah, it's okay. It's like a very standard 仙侠, very old-fashioned 仙侠 from the early days of 仙侠 drama. Because it has normal human characters. It doesn't have like, I'm gods, I'm like the prince of heaven. You know, like in recent years, we have this weird fascination about imperial system and how you can just, you know, like by birth, I'm the noble one. And every god is like higher than the other ranking thing. And they just play that game, which is, we're in 21st century. What are you talking about? And Hu Xing, back from the Brink, doesn't play that card. Nobody is royal over others, right? They're just like really normal. I mean, normal existence creatures in the 仙侠 setting, you know, and it may not be human, but like not princess and princess walking around. Hello, everyone from hot places. Well, 30 degrees. Yeah, well, once it hits 40, I'll feel bad for you, okay? Because my hometown is like regular 40 and plus 80% humidity in summer, and also it doesn't cool down at night. It's like it's 38 degrees at night. Imagine that. Texas, yay, Texas. On the porch. Oh, okay. I'll be quiet in case your neighbor stick their head out. Yeah, like she delivers it. She throws the food and it lands perfectly on the guy's head. And I mean, okay. But then you also see a scene where she goes to the tomb during Qingmingjie, right? The Qingming festival. And she's like, I don't get why you do this type of ceremonies. The dead people are not gonna actually eat the food. You put food there and it's a waste. I'm like, who is the genius that wrote this character? Because she threw food, wasted food. And she's supposed to, you know, like serve a customer herself. And then You know, like then she looks at the tomb and saying all the food for offering is a waste of stuff. I'm like, double standard much? So it's not a coherent character. It does not make sense for anybody to act like that. Like and if they intentionally act like that in life, that just means they're bad people and very jerky. Okay, that's it. And why would you write your lead character like that and hope like people would just like her for what? Why? So, we've had a quite eventful, I'd say, April up to this point, half month point of April, half month point of May. When I did my live stream last month, it was like quite quiet. And then, pretty much the second half of April in Chinese Dramaland was pure battle between fans of certain actors and dramas, the quotation mark, and people who hated the drama and hated everything about that production and its actors, and it got. I haven't seen that kind of battle and fight on Dramaland, like in Dramaland related stuff for a while. So it was really white hot for the last week, I'd say. From the last 10 days of April was really bad, and then leading up to early this month, the drama finishes airing on the 9th, and pretty much it quiets down from there. But let's say from the 20th of April to 10th, 9th of these 20 days, wow, my social media is exploding with all kinds of stuff related to Till the End of the Moon. I haven't seen this level of craziness for a while, and I'm just happy, like most international audiences, if you don't use Chinese social media, you're not gonna get affected that much, and it's good because it's messy. It's so messy. So if you haven't seen it, good for you. And I have, and I'm like, wow, this is wow. Youku, again, I think overall it just proves again that Youku as a platform, it really has no idea at all. It doesn't know the things it has, like whether it's good and bad and what you should promote more. And supposedly if you do that, it's gonna, for your own benefit, getting more ads, traffic, whatever, getting better reputation, building up a content, whatever, for the health of it. Youku just doesn't have any clue. It always does the wrong thing. It always bet money on the wrong horse. And whatever. Maybe like Alibaba does not want to make Youku last too long. I don't know. So, my end of my software doesn't quite update the stuff correctly, which is just very annoying. Okay, cool. Let me see. Okay, I'll briefly talk about a couple of things that's been really hot on Chinese internet during the airing of Till the End of the Moon. And thanks to the genius promotional tactics that Youku used, it just poured more oil on fire. So it just did this. And wow. That's what happens when you get somebody who does not know what they're doing sitting on the top of a department or something and thinking that they can run the business. Yeah, because right now I think the Youku content sort of platform person in charge has nothing to do with drama production, content creation, filmmaking, television making at all. They were from like e-commerce, sort of Taobao days people, and they only look at our probably ROI numbers, and they think of content creation just as another way of getting money, like you're getting an e-commerce platform. But can you honestly imagine like running Netflix just as you run Amazon? Like, how does that work, people? It's so bad. So this drama, just let's say if we take out first all the actors' problems and all the things, just look at the story on the script level. It's very, very I know it got cut down about 18 episodes, so the 40 and 58 thing, yeah, okay. But then, even when it got cut down, the things still don't make sense. Like, every character is incoherent. They're all weird and double standard, and like it's like they set up something in a couple of episodes, and after a couple of episodes, it's either completely forgotten or it's completely different, and it seems like nobody remembers it. So it's written by multiple people who haven't sat down and actually worked through it, or while they were filming it, things got changed so that it doesn't link up together. Like, it could be two things happening at the same time, and judging from the leaked out on set certain videos, you can tell that things do get manipulated quite a lot while they're actually shooting in the moment. So add all that up, things don't link, don't make sense, and it's all a mess. That's just the story level. And then talking about the actor level, a lot of that is to do with fandom's thing, that it just makes the situation worse. For the actors themselves, right, the biggest problem you have during this whole bizarre thing is Bailu's older stuff that she said that's like very inappropriate, got dug up, because this drama is just getting too much attention, and then people were gonna start to dig graves, as we say. If you're hot, you're definitely gonna get graves dug. It always happens. And they start to dig all the things she's done before. She said, apart from the fact that she constantly claims that she's a man, but then, you know, she does those very dance on TikTok and stuff. So you know, like, I don't think she's consciously aware of what she's doing. That she's basically just too lacking vocabulary to accurately describe. She thinks her personality is not on the traditionally girly kind of side of things. She's very much like a boy. But then the words, and she couldn't find better ways to describe that, and being sensitive about, you know, like, these days, you know, these things are sensitive. And so she just blurbs it out. And I don't think that's a huge problem. And it's like a subconscious thing, plus the fact that she doesn't have a big vocabulary. But then there's one thing of her words that really just got too bad, is when she talk about, in her older dramas, what her character is like, with Xu Kai, that drama, right? And then she used the word little bitch, which, and then it got worse because her fans come out and start to claim themselves being bitches. and it just went blah. That's the bitch word got to the point where she eventually issues an apology, because that's the one that got worse than say she's a man. But it, you know, like, when people have problems with your drama, they don't like what you're doing, the characters, or what the promotion tactics are doing, and what is happening in the fandom, they're just gonna find any excuses, right, to come back at you. So that basically her words become the target. And, you know, it's just like, be careful with what you say in public. but yeah, well, she said those things, you know, herself. It's nobody forced her, so you can't really argue that away. But I don't think that's like the worst part of the drama. Then the worst part of the whole thing. The first part is that then it shifts to Luo Yinxi. So the first beginning fight that got really hot, first is Bailu's previous stuff. Second is the plot in the drama where the male third, the general guy who betrays his country, that plot got very, very, very troublesome in China, and for very good reasons. I honestly think the genius who writes this script is a moron, okay? And the way it's played out, and even if you compare to the original novel, it doesn't happen like that in the novel. And that plot got so criticized, and it's really something that you can 上升. So if you really want to hold on that point and then go unlimitedly, right, to the end of the earth and say, we can go to 诛心之论, we can completely do, you know, like, you write this type of plot, what kind of person are you? What are you thinking? What are you trying to suggest? Are you trying to, like, the conspiracy theories of like people who write this such plot are trying to using the media to like you can go to the no end like of this and insinuate however you want, and it is something that's like just like it's stupid for drama, even when it's fantasy fictional period, to do something like that. So that plot got severely attacked, and to a point where people are like, this drama needs to be taken down. It didn't, obviously, but that's one thing you can add on, you know, like add a big straw on this camel. And so that's the two biggest thing. One is Bai Lu, the other is the whole plot of let's just betray my country after 10 minutes of talk with the other kingdom's king, when you know that that person is actually not a human, and you have actually no guarantee that once you do that, he is actually going to treat your own people kindly. It's very stupid, basically. It does not make any logical sense, okay? So, and then the third thing is, as that moves along, they find another thing to work on, which is finally ends up on the male lead actor, Luo Yunxi. Apart from right from the beginning that people say he just looks wrong for the drama, and like he's too, you know, skinny and all that, and just looks very weird with the costume and everything. Then it got to the point where more and more stuff gets put out, special features, and you almost feel the production side of things, or I don't know, the director, they intentionally put out those footages to actually let you see what happens on set while they were filming it, and it becomes another sort of weapon, let's say, on the side of people who hate this drama and just want it to be destroyed, to use against the actors and the dramas, of how on set the filming process and the director's work gets super influenced and manipulated and by lead actor. Given that he does have a hand in the whole production, and he has, I think he brought in Chen Zijinzu, pretty much like the short drama I've talked about recently, where Luo Yunxi does have a huge say in the whole production, and because of that, there's a say that even the first first-rate actors, even the first-rate actors cannot do the job of the third-rate writers of a drama. Basically, if you're on set, you're an actor, but you want to manipulate the story too much just for your own liking, it usually creates disaster, even when you're a good actor. If you're not, then that's worse. And unless it's actually a author work from the, like there are director, actor, writer people in the industry, but their whole project started with them coming up with the story, and then they go and find money, and then they direct and led and actually produce the whole thing themselves. They're author films and stuff. That's a totally different thing. But this is like, the script is not yours. You just got hired as an actor to come in, right? And if you want to just do it for your own sake and just make yourself look good, or in every shot is like, I am the lead, you know, like what? You need to give all the screen time to me and make all the, give me more close-ups and useless shots that just makes me look good, or like everything I do during a scene, like how I position myself, how I block it, what kind of I do, like it completely becomes my domain, and the director is just like standing there and say, okay. If that happens, usually it will be a bad drama, and oh, you so feel this production intentionally put out all those stuff to very secretly, quietly, not actually saying it clearly, but showing you like, you know, if this drama has problems, it probably is not our problems. This is someone else's problems. Go figure it out yourself. You can so feel that, and you know, this is a weird production. It gives you the feeling like that it probably wasn't a very happy working environment for most of the people, and then it ended up being like this. So you know, it's no surprise, and it's not uncommon in drama. I think it's only because both leads do have quite a bit fan, and also Youku really put so much energy into promoting this drama. They just crammed in their resources, and they try to force this drama. They try to make it and claim it to be best 仙侠 in 3 years, claim it to be better than this and that, and it annoys the other people who watch other dramas and like the other dramas, and they were like, what kind of garbage this is, and how dare you, even say that. So they backlash like crazy. That's had Youku been really, really discreet and just quiet about this drama, it wouldn't have gotten to this point where honestly it becomes such an ugly thing for Bailu, for Luo Yunxi, for yeah. It pretty much destroyed Luo Yunxi's reputation on, let's say, platforms such as Bilibili. Because he actually got famous, not because he was in any other dramas previously, such as Ashes of Love. He was a male second in that drama, and then he was almost like not really that much in the 何以笙箫默, the Zhong Hanliang and Tang Yan drama, right? But those two characters often get pulled out from his other works and gets a lot of cut. Like, he is one of the period drama style male actor that gets used as example of who looks good in costume dramas, who fights very nicely on camera, who does really good wire work, in comparison to the ugly ones, right? He often gets used as the good example in all kinds of short videos cut in China. Like, it's a huge amount. On Bilibili, also, he was 白月光 for a lot of people, the white moonlight, the things that are like first love, for a lot of people who love traditional Chinese style costumes and wuxia, for the last couple of years, because his character of Ren Yu in Ashes of Love, that white clothing and that class. You remember there's a slow-mo shot of him going like white clothing and the camera pans around and the hair flying. Like, that shot gets used a million times in a million different. And he got famous and loved because there are so many art fan-made edits of that character. And he almost single-handedly kind of created this unanimously agreed perfect example image of such a character in Dramaland. And then, thanks to the fact that the male lead got cancelled, unfortunately, in Ashes of Love, so you can't actually have a competition now. He's single-handedly winning this drama after the drama has aired so many years, because the male lead got right. So he becomes the only one who can show up in edits. And all that got built up from pure fandom reactions. It doesn't come from any official channel, from productions, from his own company. It's all people doing that themselves because they like it. And therefore, his reputation and his popularity is purely built upon fan stuff that has been given him that. I think in a way it influenced him too much. Basically, he thought, you can see that. He is famous for all those cuts and all those shots and his particular type of tragic, broken character. And it may got to the point where he thought that people just want to look at him like that. That's the filter everybody has on him. And he just want to feed his fans with more of such things. And once he has basically control over production in any way, he starts to intentionally or unintentionally or subconsciously just do more of that type of acting characters. He manipulates everything to make it more like what he imagined people would like him to look like, so that you look at the way he acts in this drama. You can really see that. And that actually just all backfired so badly. Now that everything Ring Yu has built up, Tan Taijing has destroyed. Yeah, it really is so the classic. This is such a live example of something in Chinese called 成也萧何,败也萧何. The thing that makes you also destroys you. So, showing you in a life lesson and how it unfolds, and you're like marveling at every day the speed of things happening and shockingly. And it happens. It also shows you, like, in this whole Vanity Fair of Dramaland, it's so easy to lose yourself. It's so easy, even for people who you think it's just so hard, you know. I remember Zhang Yunlong once in an interview said, 不火是死，火了生不如死. I mean, just like, he is so right. It's like, if you're not popular, it's like death for a career as an actor. But if you're too popular, it's worse than death, right? And this is like, first is how fans can influence you, and then like how all the love can also, in a way, like landmines, right? You think you're benefiting from the things, but they're actually landmines, and one day in the future it explodes in your face in the most spectacular fashion. Also, I have a feeling like he's always been very skinny, Luo Yunxi, right? From day one, like, has he ever been in any way, you know, fat? No, he's like skinny, and he keeps getting skinnier. But apart from like he's really thin, I am not an expert, okay? And I'm just like judging by my own, looking at his previous dramas, shots, and now, I do think he did something to this bone. He already has a very narrow face towards this end. It's already, but you can see, even when he was super skinny previously, in all the shots, you can see this bone still is at an angle that comes out, so that the face, the lower part of the face, is still held by that length. So the lip and the face is one to like basically the proportion is 1:1:1, something like that. Like, it's the right proportion, so it doesn't look very strange. But in this drama, the proportion has changed so much that his face is like this. So that lip is becomes so large with the lipstick, and then this bone is just no longer at the same volume and angle. And the thing is, no matter how skinny you get, even when you die, you know, supposedly that is still gonna be there. That size is not gonna change, the bone. Like, you do lose a little bit of bone as you get older, but it's not gonna be significant enough that you literally, like, you lost the angle here. So I do feel like it looks very much like he did something here, because the facial proportion just changed. And then in the drama, the worst part is he had so much eye makeup on the top, so it makes this part and this part, like, the proportion becomes even more ridiculous. I don't know, like, I just feel so bad. Like, why do you have to do that? The genius person who thought it was a good idea, and then even if he insisted and didn't actually try to stop him from doing that, is just so unethical. He already is too skinny, and that proportion is already a very narrow face. You make this even more, like, how is gonna, I don't know. People are like, why? He's already so skinny that there's no extra fat on him anywhere. You don't need to cut things down even more to look skinnier. Holy. And if you look at his Ren Yu and Tan Taijin time, their body weight at different times, like his body weight at different times, is not so significantly different. If you just look at the body, like, don't look at the face, just look at the body in shot, it's almost the same, but the face just changed. So it has to be some bone gets taken away, otherwise you just won't have that happening. It can't happen, you know? It's bones, it's hard, it's there. You can't, because if you take it out, you can't put it back, never ever again, you know? It's gone, it's cut off, and it's never gonna come back, no matter what you do. And it's like, don't do that. Don't do things you can't reverse. I mean, if people do a little bit, like, on top skin things or like injections here and there, I may understand, because to a point you can you can take it back, right? But you actually move your bones and you know, okay, it's done forever. I just feel so that this whole thing is just such a unfortunate incident. So immortality, somebody asked earlier whether that's gonna come out. Unlikely. And see what happens with Justice in the Dark. That they've changed all the character names. They've even made it like almost like a sci-fi, and it aired 8 episodes, and now we don't know what's gonna happen to it. Maybe never. Only I think mostly just because everybody knows it comes from an original BL novel. Even if you change the characters' names, we all know it is. You know, it's like 掩耳盗铃 is not gonna help it. So basically, if something gets changed significantly, but you still know its original work is a BL, it still is unlikely to air. So immortality has very little probability of airing. And honestly, I think you should not air that drama now. Because what happened with Chen Feiyu this year and also Luo Yunxi so far, that it's better for both of them that this drama just never see a day of light. You know, honestly speaking, for both actors. If it airs, and then somehow they get more popular, more fan support from the popularity, it's all gonna be bad publicity and bad fandom energy. It's just gonna backlash even worse afterwards. If it airs and they get any more through the drama, it wouldn't be good, and it would burn the whole thing down faster for them even. Right now, that's just what it is, right? Let's say 2 decades later, then when they're middle-aged old men, maybe they can bring this one out and we're just watching it laughing. That wouldn't really do anything, right, to their reputation anymore, because things would have moved so far beyond the point of relevance. But now, it would be suicide and pure stupidity to release immortality. Those two are gonna get so... I don't think they themselves want it to air. If they have Brink, they wouldn't want that to happen now, okay? It's like both of them have enough fire on their ass to deal with. You don't need more right now. So let's just cap the talk on till the end of the month here. I watched till 18 and didn't continue, and I'm thankful. But then I know what happens later, because everybody tells me what happens later, and I know. And I'm just so happy I didn't waste time watching all those plots that just make all my question marks. And they have like so many breakup sex, and the worst part is the last time was purely for the purpose that she can have a kid. I don't know. 娘道 in 仙侠 world. Wow. That whole Liu Zhong, keep the seed, that whole have a kid was for my mental health, okay? I'm so shocked by that part that I'm so thankful I didn't actually go watch the drama. So, currently a couple of drama ongoing. I took a peek and didn't continue. One is something just said Wang Hedi's youth in the battle, flame of battle. That really was early day work. Okay, first it's all dubbed, although it's dubbed by the same Dongfang Qinchang dubber for him. But that drama, Zhou Ye is 五官乱飞, is flying. Her face is like cannot control expressions. And then Wang Hedi is still early days of acting. So I watched a couple of episodes and I'm like, I have had enough. It's like not bad, but it's just there are so many better things to do, right? So I think the drama has just finished or something very recent, or about to finish, and I'm like, yeah, I don't Don't need to check that one out, really, honestly. There are another one that I also would name for a bit and then quit. Which one is it? There's too many dramas going on right now. Let me just read the chat and see if anybody reminds me. Ning Ai Ru Meng. Ning Ai Ru Meng hasn't aired, right? Because there was a rumor that it's gonna air today. Literally, but I don't think it is. Is it? If it is, let me know, because I woke up this morning and I was getting ready for this. I didn't check on social media or anything. 宁安如梦. Nirvana, so far no updates. But they definitely are aiming at start shooting towards the end of this year, I think, and yeah, at least. Okay. And Jungwoo is being very secretive of casting because they know it's gonna explode this news. So even within the industry, they're keeping a very, very tight mouth, and then they're not letting anyone know who they're picking. But they're picking 2 male leads. Yeah, it's a double male lead for sure. For the third one. Warm and sweet. Warm and sweet. I watched a couple of it, a little bit, and I got so shocked about how ridiculous the plot was, so I quit. Road to Ordinary, I also watched a bit, and it's all divorce cases, and I'm like, I don't need that blood pressure thing, so I quit as well. Yeah, so I've checked all those dramas out, and I'm like, I can't watch this, can't watch that. Warm and Sweet, the whole marriage thing, like the Lu Yi and her, like his ex slash not really ex-wife and the kid and the family, and then his relationship with Song Qian, like right from the beginning, right? That's episode 1, and I saw the whole thing happening. I'm like, what? Huh? Here? All your characters, like, you don't think what you're doing is like problematic? And like, you people are so weird. Wow, what a weird marriage. What a weird relationship. What weird parents of the male lead. I mean, Warm and Sweet, the Lu Yi character. I was like, oh, no, I'm not watching this. I'm not watching this. Mental piece. Mental piece. Okay, so I quit. So many ridiculous dramas these days. Let me just read that. 19 something? What? The Xiaozhan drama is coming out on the 20th or 21st, right? I think. At least right now, that's what they're saying. With Li Qing. Probably won't watch that either, because personally not a huge fan of Shidai, particularly the 70s, 80s, 90s. Those, recent years we've had so many dramas that are set in the 80s and 90s. Somehow everybody writes that period of story for whatever reason. And for me to watch those dramas, the biggest problem is I know what 80s China looked like, okay? And I've lived through it. So if there's anything that's off, I cannot watch it. Immediately I'll kick it. I'm like, ugh. It's like 20s people writing stuff they don't know about at all. And I get very, like, I can't watch, I can't sit with things that are wrong. So, I have a feeling with this type of production, usually they don't get it very well. Okay. Love You Give Me, I said already earlier, I did watch it. And I may talk about it, I may not. It depends on. I haven't decided yet. I've watched the whole thing. Like I said, they really look like a family. They should just get married. Wang Ziqi and Wang Yuwen should get married, and everybody would be happy. I think they themselves pretty much would also be quite okay. Because they're so 老夫老妻. They're so old husband, old wife when they're filming the drama. You can see, like, there's no shyness, no anything. When they're kissing, hugging, rolling on the bed, and when they're acting, they're even more open than the directors, because they've done it 3 times already, and it's nothing. It does not matter. Let's just do it this way, that way. And we might as well just get married. I'm just kidding, but they look like a family. Honestly, if they stand together and say we're a real couple and got married, you're like, oh, fine, makes total sense. They even look like the same type of people, standing together. Sometimes, like you have a couple who have like a similar body build, similar aura, like, and so they come together. They really are a pair. Wang Ziqian and Wang Yuwen are like that. They're so like a pair. Can't even imagine they're not. Born to Fly movie, I don't, because I don't get it here. It does not screen here. And internet version wouldn't get released yet, right? I don't think. Ode to Joy, I haven't checked it, won't. Won't. The third one was already bad enough, I don't care. Even if it includes actors I like, I'm not gonna check it. Chasing the Light, change your title. Does that mean anything? Chasing the Light, change it. Oh, 刚振兴钢厂, is it? It's like the change it into like steel mill factory, something like that. I think it's a joke. I don't think it's real. Twin Mirror, I see that person's name again. Thank you for your super chat. Snow Lord Ego, any new? Nope, haven't heard about that. But I think that drama is ready. It just depends on when it airs or if they have gotten a license. Post production probably is completely done. It's just license. I haven't heard about the license thing. Longest promise, I have no idea. Don't ask me. You know, like Xiaozhan dramas is a sensitive thing, right? So I've said before, and I would not, even if his stuff airs, I would not be talking about them on my channel. I just want my peace. Okay, I want my peace. I just don't want. I don't want a million drugs suddenly just rush into my channel and blow up everything. It's I don't know. Like for the story itself, I actually don't think it makes sense for a second season. If I were to write, because it's a director work, she wrote it and then she filmed it. She directed it. So if she is as I imagine she'd be, based on what I see in the drama, the way the story is written, I don't think it makes sense for a second season, just from pure creative and storytelling point of view. The beauty of the story is it ends here, and all the future things is in your imagination, and the probability is limitless. If you make a second season, you basically completely destroys the beautiful build-up you have in the whole story. And it's any form of limiting possibilities down to a specifics kills all the other possibilities. And to me, I think the story has completed its purpose, and it leaves in certain things open. I feel just, like it's normal. Practicality speaking, if you ever want to make a second season, you can, because you haven't completely closing down every line, such as the doll. The doll is still around and her story hasn't ended fully. Also, the Lotus lady, the old lady, her story is still open. So basically, if you do that, if you ever really have to go back, you can. But if you don't, you can leave it open there. Personally, honestly, if I don't think about anything else, my own preferences of seeing the actors coming back together and acting in future stuff, my preferences would be actually for Oh No, Here Comes Trouble to stop here and not having a second season. The story itself, okay, I think it's a better way of doing the story. I mean, and then on the other side of, like, if Avenue X is just a heartless audience and just want to see more shipping thing, oh yeah, I really like the two leads. And I also am a little bit interested in seeing the female lead role with the other policeman. I think they're actually a really cute couple. If it has a second season, I would love to see how these two relationships develop. And it probably will give me a lot of fun, yeah. But if I put the story of Oh No, Here Comes Trouble first, it takes priority. If you think about the whole drama and the story as a person, I think the best thing for it to be in this perfect condition is not to have a second season. That's the logical thinking from a writer's perspective mind of me saying that. Welcome to disagree with me. Okay. The Grandmother Deng Enxi, yeah, I've watched through it, 18 episodes. See how many dramas I watch? You know, so often I don't even remember. I have to get reminded of how many dramas I'm watching constantly. So we're gonna talk a little bit about here. Here Comes Trouble, Back from the Brink. Yes, both of them. Okay. I'm probably not gonna make a final review on Oh No, Here Comes Trouble, just because, yeah, I have very little to add on, and I don't want to waste everyone's time. Yeah. It's a great drama, 12 episodes, and one video is enough, and it's great. Otherwise, like I said, I wouldn't make that edit. It just shows, you know, when it's a proper production. Like, this is what I call story comes first, everything else second. Drama production. In terms of, I feel when I watch Oh No, Here Comes Trouble, the story itself is absolutely the main character. And the ideas and the message behind it is the main character. It's the most important thing. The directors, the techniques of telling it, all the hardware style, the color, the camera, the music, the actors, everything else comes behind that and are lined up. But you see so clearly that actually getting the story told, the story itself takes the center stage. It is what I call, I mean, in my opinion, the most proper way of making a drama is you always put that first, not a famous actor first, not your director's own personal sort of kinks about things first. After watching so many dramas, I feel gradually I got it teased out. For myself, this is to my preferences, I prefer thinking about drama making storytellers. So if it's a one director, very strongly that person directed project, like the script is by the person they directed, like this drama, I prefer the type of storyteller who always thinks about the story first and then themselves later and then other things. Like the priority. I think in a way, no matter how you want to say that you're an author, right? And a lot of author film are very strong personality and they don't care about what other people thinking about it. I don't quite appreciate that kind of attitude, honestly, because if you're just writing a story on paper, that's fine, because that's only the resources, pen and paper, and now computer. You only need to type that on your own. You don't care about how other people want. But when you make a production, right, it's always never just your own thing. And as soon as it becomes a film or drama, it becomes hundreds and thousands of people's collaborative effort. And you can't change the nature of that, even when you are the author, director of something. And in a way, I feel if a creator fully puts herself or himself's preferences in front of everything else, it becomes in a way just taking advantage of every other person's effort and complete credit that onto yourself. It's just not the nature of film and television production. And also television and film productions are, in a way, commodities. They're made to make money, right? Otherwise, unless you're super rich, you just make it for yourself. Like you screen it in your own house and you don't care how many people watch it, and that's fine. But if you make something that actually needs to get sold with tickets and then, you know, like drama subscriptions, you are doing a service, no matter how you think about that. The fact of that is it's an exchange. People pay money for you, and you give them what, you know, like they ordered for. It's in that nature. Therefore, I always feel there's a need for the creator to have that attitude of I am doing a service to an unpredicted, I don't know who specifically, people out there, but I have to think from their perspective of how it may serve them better. Always that's like in the nature of such things. So when I was watching Oh No, Here Comes Trouble, compared to a lot of also very good dramas I've watched recently, I have this strong feeling that this writer and director really thinks about the story first, then their own likings, and then other things. Because everything you see in this drama, how it's made, edited together, the way it's told, the lines written, it has a strong feeling of we all aim at just telling the story and the message behind it. That's the first thing. Everything works for it. In terms of our, for example, like production design style, how we style the characters, how they look, how we time the story, what, like editing sequences of things, it all have the very clear purpose of story comes first. And I really, really love that kind of creators. If I have to use something as comparison, recently also high rating drama, The Long Season, I made a video on. Personally, I said I have problems with it. I don't like it very much, but I know it gets a really high score and I understand why. And it's higher than Oh No, Here Comes Trouble scoring wise on Douban. I think it's 9.5 or something, pretty crazy. It definitely is inflated. To me, it inflated at least 2 points, but some people think it inflated 1, but it's fine, it's too inflated. Here Comes Trouble, I think on Douban is 8.9, which I mean, it's a pretty reasonable scoring. So if I have to compare these two dramas, both are 12 episodes, both are very beautifully crafted dramas, very different, but they're done by people who know exactly what they're doing. Oh, professionals, okay. Actors, scriptwriters, everything is professional, very, very well done. If I have to compare these two dramas, after watching both of them, I would say The Long Season is the type of drama where the main creators, the director and the writers, have a little bit too much of an indulgence on their own. Just because they want it and they like it and they don't quite. And also there's a way of like, you can almost sense that in the background. It's like they feel they are so good at these things, and they are. You know, they're very good director and very good productions, that they have the feeling is like whatever I throw out at the audiences, you should just catch it and be grateful that I make a drama. I mean, they're not saying it in any way, but watching the drama gives you that feeling like they're so showing off. Maybe it's just me. Okay, I don't know how many people get that feeling, but when I was watching The Long Season, I just so feel the main creators of this drama are just so showing off, and they feel so good about themselves, and they are very good. Okay, but every time I just like, if I get any hint of that, I just get very put off. You know, like show off has great show off, like the type of show off that you show off, but at the same time you serve the storytelling purpose. And you show off because you can, but also you never actually sacrifice the story for that. And then there's a type of show off that starts to eat into the story. And when I feel a drama contains that type of show off, I get very, very put off. It's just me, okay? Maybe it doesn't work on anyone, just me, but that's the clear comparison I can draw from two 12 episodes recently aired high rating drama. Is one, I feel it's so story centered and story priority. The other one, strongly author is present in there, and the author, I can smell that and I don't like it, okay? So if you get that, well, it just means your brain is wired the same way as I do. If not, it's something that's don't get discussed very much in any type of reviews. And certain dramas, when it gets such a high rating, you just don't even want to criticize it on social media, because you know you're gonna get hated. And people are gonna say you do it for other reasons other than the fact that you just don't like it as a piece of work that's called drama. Oh yeah. Jung Yin, I agree with you. I like 13 Years of Dust more than Long Season. Long Season overall has this strong feeling of, yeah, you find really good actors. I mean, Fan Wei, Qing Hao, they're so good. And you're watching all those great acting constantly in every second, but to a point where it's like, how much does it serve the character or the story? And you're like, I'm basically looking at a display of great skills. And you're like still trying to impress me with that, but why should I care? Why am I obliged to care about that? And yeah, that director is such a talented director, but I feel a danger of his going, you know, if he does another project that is like turning that up even more, it's gonna have problems then. Xing Shuang, yeah, the Back Kids and Long Season director. Maybe it's because he's like one of those underground band person, you know, from early days. They have that spirit. They have that we don't give a shit to what other people think about. We just feel so good about ourselves. Maybe that comes with it. You know, he early days he was that type of musician. So it could be. He's 半路出家, so he's not always being like study like in the traditional way, being a scriptwriter or storyteller. He was a musician. So maybe that's also to do with like where it comes from. You're welcome. Villain, my day. Yeah, well, eventually, like gradually, my channel becomes some channel to help people save their time, picking which drama to watch so you don't waste your life. So, oh no, here comes trouble. Love that drama. I'm really happy that this drama allowed me to feel a little bit hopeful for the future productions of iQIYI. Also, great actors discover new talents. You know, when I watch this Taiwan production, what I feel is for mainland China, I was like, look at 97 born young actors across the channel, and what type of roles they get, and what kind of acting they deliver, and like how proper and serious they're about their career. And then you compare to all the crap and people who do not deserve their salary, do not deserve their pay, do not deserve their popularity, their fame, their fandom, the money they get. So many, countless crappy actors and actresses who are born in the same year, around the same time, 90s and early 2000s, whatever, like the popular ones, you know, the traffic hot ones, and the ones who have like, I don't know, millions and millions of robot fans on Weibo. So look at, you know, like they are already miles ahead of you. And in comparison, you're so incompetent and crappy and garbage like. It's like 内娱完了. You watch your drama and then you watch all the crap things that are happening on Tencent, on Youku, you know, all those crappy dramas that keeps coming. 内娱完了. Mainland entertainment business is dead. Like the contrast, like the quality of storytelling and acting and professionalism, like in contrast, is just so wow, staring in your face, like at that level of. Dumb dramas with beautiful people. Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong at all. It's not unpopular. I think it's very reasonable. And if you say like good lookingness doesn't count, you're joking. You know, like people have actual studies. Good looking people get better treated throughout their life by their teacher, by their parents, by colleagues, by their bosses. They get everything easier and better. We can't stop it because it's in our genes. And it's like the biological level of things that you cannot be consciously changing. It's like how you smell naturally. You can't change it no matter how much you want it. It's just in your DNA. And oh yeah, like looking at pretty people in ridiculous dramas, I understand that fully. I mean, there are crappy dramas or dramas like the recent 无眠之境, right? Desire Catcher. I really just watched it because it's Zheng Yecheng led, and I'm like that. In that respect too, is I just really like him. What can I say? And I just enjoy watching like him on screen, although it's crappy drama. Not crappy drama, but second half and later half is ridiculous. But on the other hand, there are good things about that drama too. And honestly, yeah, I watch it because I like the male lead. What can I say? It works on me. Although I think like he just needs a really good production overall to help him out. He has been in too many crappy dramas. Such a waste of his good-looking face and his probably best fighting skills on screen among his same age range actors these days in China, because he comes from such background. Yeah. So here now, and what else? Here comes trouble. In terms of like the two male leads, I think they're adorable, and I love the fact that this drama does it only to that point, where it's very, you can say it's bromance, it's very pure, and it's very, you can ship it towards the BL angle, but it's also very, is that the word platonic? Something like that. It's just human loving human. And it, regardless of your gender and like sexual orientation or any of that romantic thinking, no, it's just one person appreciate another person for being who they are. And you see that in, I think, in the three main leads, all of them, the policeman, the policewoman, the medical student, and the I haven't even graduated from high school and I have no idea about where my future lies person. Like, you see those three people and they're just people. You know, you can almost completely take out the gender, romantic attraction, any kind of that out of their relationship. They're just buddies, they help each other out, they go on this journey, which is quite fantastic, and along the way they start to sort of like learn about themselves and becoming a better person. More heavily on, say, working on the policewoman role, because she has a more significant change throughout the whole line of stories. But what I mean is, you feel like all those little sugar on top that you want to add yourself and imagining, with all those, like in my edits, I will also tease with that, right? Playing with that. There are two segments that are completely about these two male leads, but that's just like how you want to play with it. But in terms of the story itself, in the drama itself, it has given you all those moments that you can use in an edit to play it to that angle. But in the story itself, they're not forced, they're not intentionally added in, and they are all done with a very reasonable and very pure intention, so that it's funny from the comedy angle. It's very adorable. It's not in any way trying to sell it. You know, like certain dramas overdo it, and it's very intentional, and it starts to get weird. It all comes from very purely, very solidly from how those two characters are written, the Pu Yong and Cao Guangyan and Rao, how they're set up and what kind of people there are. Therefore, they react in a certain way, and it makes total sense for their character personality-wise and also the plot sense. It makes logical sense fully. But then happens to be, when that happens, it also has that weird chemistry thing happening, and it plays into people's expectation. So this is done by a really well-trained storyteller, you know, who knows exactly what they're doing, and it's the perfect way. I mean, in a way, I prefer this type of building up the relationship of two characters than full on, totally written for the BL purpose stories that are pure BL from day one. Like, you know, it's like that. You know, sometimes if you try too hard, it's like you squeeze too hard and the sand just comes out of your palm and it disappears. You have to be like at the right pressure to be able to hold it, and this drama does it very, very well. It's so perfectly done. It's like when you mix a perfume, right? And you can't just because you want it to make it like it has a presence, that you add so much of one type and it just destroys the thing. The subtlety of balancing that. The theme park sequence of this drama is so well made, and it's teasing at that. It's with the plot, with the characters, with the comedy, but also teasing at that, and it's just timed so perfectly. This is my perfect type of hinting at it, but actually not being too on your nose type of quotation mark BL, but really, it doesn't have to be. Where did you hear panel? I don't think there's a confirmation about season 2. Honestly, for this type of project, right? If they ever need to come back together, it needs to solve a lot of realistic things, scheduling, all that, script. Even if it happens, it's gonna be quite a few years down the line, and I don't necessarily feel this story needs a second season. My preference would be not having it, but if it has, I will watch it. I have made these, so they're in my shop. I put them on yesterday. I'll show you that. See if my camera would focus. It's on auto, so it should be. Look at who that is. 好可爱，好吉祥 The mom. And then I have the bigger one and the smaller one, so they're the same, but this is like the bigger one. This is the one that can fit behind your phone. Yeah. So famous moments of the drama. You know what that is. And then this is a 2-piece that has to be put together like that. Focus, dear camera. Panasonic, even when you have firmware updates, you're just a joke in autofocus. Come on, like, do I have to leave the shot? Okay, you know what this is. Okay, it's enough. It does not want to focus. I can't help it. So basically, that's that. Come on, focus on it. Cool. And then the lady is here. What else? Oh, yeah, I love this scene, so I draw this one. And then that one. This is what I call playing with the BL expectation cleverly. It happens with the plot so naturally that you don't feel it's forced and weird, and it's just funny. But then, behind the funny undertone, like the undertone of it is playing with the expectation. And then the final is just the 3 of them, okay? So that's the individual little ones. and this like head sticker, I don't know if you can see all the details. I tried to put as much detail in as I can. But they're too small. So for example, he has a butterfly. The high school version has a butterfly. And then there's a noodle, I think. Yeah, there. And then she's got a band-aid on her face. Well, and then when I did edit, right, it was so incredible. I was searching for songs, and then first I was like, maybe I make like the 2 male leads orientated edits, but there are so many edits of that online already. And although I adore them, I feel if you force them, because if you force them into an edit where it's a pure sort of like BL type of story, it's just very different from what the drama overall, like what it actually feels like. And most of the songs, at least on China's internet, that you can find that are used for editing male CP is very on the nose. Like it tells that relationship very clearly. And I feel it's in a way conflicting with how the drama actually presents them. I was looking for a perfect song and I couldn't find one. I found almost every BL editing like well-known song in China, and I'm like, no, that's weird. That's not working. Nothing works, right? And there's so many. If you search Bilibili, right, there's so many edits already, and pretty much every song that are well-known, you often got used for CP editing is used already. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And I feel what actually moved me most in this drama is that essential message and how all these characters deal with those things in their own specific way, and so it's the soul of the story that's the most attractive thing to me. And so I made the edit I made, and I was like, I want to find a song that can really tell about the whole obsession and how human obsession creates an actual object of form. And that's like one of the, that's the most important thing in this drama. Is otherwise the drama would not exist, right? The story is about you have that and then how you deal with it. So I was like, if I could find a song that just happened to talk about that in a way, but then like how how do you can't order a song, you can't find it. It's so hard. I was just like randomly searching, and somehow this one comes up. And didn't really spend that much time. It's like about 20 minutes searching on the internet, and this song popped out, and I was looking at the lyrics before it even starts to sing, because you can see all the lyrics in those apps, right? So the lyrics is already rolling, and you haven't even start listening to people singing it, and just looking at the words, you're like, what? If anybody does this type of edit, right, on your own, you know what it feels like when you find the perfect song, and you're like, what? How could this song of this lyrics exist before this drama ever got made? I know the two singers of this song, they wrote it for their very personal. I think one of them wrote it and for a very personal reason, and it's a totally personal story that person had. I think one of the singers in this song, and it has nothing to do with this drama. It happens to be her story, very personal story. But then, wow, the lyrics is so perfect for this drama, for all those characters and what they go through. And I'm like, oh, I have to use this. And there's no way that I don't use it. So, what song on my second channel? Haven't you watched it? What a good edit I've done. On Avenue Extra, I uploaded a edit I made, an edit I made about a day ago, okay? And I put it on my community post, also on my main channel. If you haven't watched it, now I'm not gonna play the music because I'm gonna get copyright strike, but that edit. And I have CC'd this in English, so you should be able to understand what the lyrics is if you don't read Chinese. It's a perfect song, every line. Like, I edited this video so that the image you see while the song is going on fits every line, almost, I think, like 95%. It doesn't happen all the time, always, for dramas. Sometimes when you see a drama and you want to make an edit, you just can't find the perfect song, and then it doesn't happen. But for this one, 20 minutes, I got it, and I'm like, wow. And also, I don't see any other one using it. I haven't seen anybody using that for this edit, for this drama's edit. And I'm like, if I don't do it, it would not exist in this world, on this timeline for this drama. If I don't do it, it will never happen. And that's when okay, I have to go and edit this. So like, I have no choice. Universe has made an order, and Avenue X has to deliver. I love this type of edit because it comes from it's almost like it's really not. I mean, I want to do it, but then when it happens, it's like it's meant to happen. I've had a couple of meant to happen edits. Some are not. Some are totally just I want to do it and I do it. And then there are a couple of edits in my long history of making edits over the years that happened for very interesting, happen in very serendipitous ways. It's like, okay. If I don't do it, it's like I failed at a test question of life. I've done videos about how I edit previously, but they're on YouTube, Bilibili. Yeah, and they're in Chinese. Not because the reason is I don't think it gets watched, honestly, by most of my YouTube audiences who don't speak Chinese. Also, copyright is the problem for those type of, because I'm gonna constantly, when I make those like videos about how I edit things, I constantly have to loop back and show you, why I do this, why I do that. It just has all the drama in. I can't not screenshot that, and therefore I always get into copyright trouble on YouTube with that. So if you want to watch one, I do have two during the days of Guardian on my Bilibili account, but they're in Chinese. And they're long, they're like 30-40 minutes long, just telling you how I do every edit in the most detailed way. So that's pretty much everything I want to say about Oh No, Here Comes Trouble. I love this drama. I'm gonna dream about it for a long time to come, and I'm definitely gonna rewatch it. This is so high value rewatching drama. And it's the type of drama that every shot means something. It doesn't have wasted moments. And if you jump, like if you click on the time, play ahead, drag it, you're gonna miss a lot of information. Type of drama. I love this type of drama because it's a respect to the audience. It does not want to waste your life. Everything it gives you is like pure, concentrated, good stuff. Okay, so that should conclude my things I want to say on Oh No, Here Comes Trouble. Now, moving on to Back from the Brink. This drama aired 15, I think, today. I've watched all of them up to this point. So this morning, when I was getting ready, I was also watching episode 15. When finally the guy did something wrong, okay? He was a pretty good guy until the point where he just, I want that from you. I'm like, what? Why are you doing that? Back from the Brink, up to this point, I think is starting to show its first maybe crashing point. We shall wait till it airs more episodes to see if that happens. I haven't read the original novel, so I don't know how much change they've made. I did read a very quick synopsis of the original story. So far, it's following it 80%. They do change a couple of characters' essential setup, but not significantly turning away from the original thing. Before the part where the shadow demon just falls in love with the female lead, I think everything was okay. But when he starts to do that whole thing of like suddenly he's filled with pink bubbles, and then he looks at her. I mean, it's still comedy and it's very light, and he still is. It's not the heavy version of male second falls in love with female lead. But I'm like, like that thing is so old and no longer really like something people appreciate, and I just don't want to see that happening in this drama. But it starts to happen, and I'm not happy about that. And I don't know how they're gonna move that line, like whether it's gonna get played or whether it's just gonna go away. Like he's gonna think through it and he's like, yeah, she doesn't like me, so why bother? I don't like the shadow demon starts to. I enjoy Yisrael in that way because it's just so not him, right? And the great and interesting funny thing about him, the whole character, is that he's a CP head. He ships the male lead and female lead so much that it's funny. It's like audiences in the drama. It's like what we do when we like a couple, how we ship them. We just want to 按头磕, right? Press their head and make them kiss. So he's literally our audience functioning character in the drama. Therefore, it's just really off-putting when he suddenly decides to coming himself. It's like you are there to ship them, not to bother their relationship. So I hope they can pull that back, like make him realize, no, it's the wrong thing to do, stop it soon. Otherwise, no, that's gonna destroy this drama for me. So I'm a little bit worried at this point. Also, like, I don't quite get how Okay, so the build up of the plot that just happened in episode 15, I don't think it makes quite a lot of sense. When she goes back to find him, like Joey as well, he just had all the little fairies abducted by the bad woman. He's in kind of shock, and she comes in and immediately, like without actually anything, like he just jumped on her and took that thing from her heart. I think that there is a lack of building that logic line, which is you have to first show that our male lead and those little goblin thing, like the fairy babies who are adorable. I mean, previously they've done certain things of that, but I don't think it has been built specifically or strongly enough to the point where you know that he cares about those little things so much that he would, at that point, without even hesitation, just do that. And also, like, not talking to her. I mean, because they've been talking very honestly through the beginning to this point. And one of the strengths of this drama to this point about their relationship is they just talk about everything. They don't hide secrets from each other, and they don't have those 5 episodes of misunderstanding when it can be resolved by one sentence, which is what Till the End of the Moon is like throughout the whole freaking thing. Have to stop that drama. Yeah, I have to stab it for a bit while I'm talking about this. If you look at Hu Xin back from the Brink, they are so open to each other. Like, only episode 3 or something, he told her who he is and what he's doing, what he needs from her. And she was like, but you can't take away this from me because I'm gonna die. And then, you know, like, if you need this, like, so they're very open about their secret and what they like and do not like. And they have been, like, very respectable, normal thinking humans. Yeah, humans, a dragon and a human, up to this point. And I just don't feel it makes sense after you've built all that up and then you haven't really built up the fact that why those little goblin things are so important, or it would make the male lead almost without hesitation do that, right, to the female lead. You haven't built up that line, and then what you've set up with the 2 characters previously is like this, and then suddenly he does this. I'm like, give me a little bit build up, you know, like before you do it. I mean, I see the reason, because she can live 3 days, I think, after that, and he can take that to do what he needs to do and then come back and return it, maybe. But can't you just, like, first try to tell her before you actually poke a hole in her? and I'm not so much of a fan of how this particular plot got played out. I feel it's a little bit too jarring. And it doesn't quite work with previously what you've set up with all the stuff you've done previously. Let's see in the next couple of episodes how they're gonna play that around, right? Yeah, and villain of this drama, Su Yin, played by Yang Rong. So far, she hasn't also been built up sufficiently to make you feel she is complicated enough, so that she do these things and somehow it's reasonable from her end of things. She's still too flat and too simple and too purely evil. You know, your heroes are only as good as your villains. If your villains are not interesting, they're not layered, they're not complicated, they're not to a point arguable about their, you know, bad intentions and their actions, then she so far is way too flat. And also, like, her reason for doing all that is just so that she over the top 恋爱脑. And if you say that she has this such a strong sort of, like, obsession with the guy that she would do this level of things for him, you also need build-up. And their relationship so far is just a couple of montage scenes of what happened in their past. And it's even done by a different actor when he was younger. So there's very little build-up. And you don't really know over the years of this lover of hers and her what they've gone through. To the point that she'd be so doesn't care about anything. Like, I don't care about whatever, I can destroy the world, but I just am gonna bring him back. You have to, like in the drama, like you have to let people know what happened between them to the point where she is able to get to that point, right? And you don't have details in this drama, and so therefore you don't actually in any way emotionally understand her, where she's coming from, or even in a way empathize with what she's gone through. Therefore, all the bad things she does is just pretty disgusting and despicable. And you're like, okay, so she's just like, she's too simply evil. So that is also not really ideal for stories. So what I say about Hu Xing so far is it has merits. It has certain things that is done better than a lot of very crappy drama in this genre. But it is by no means a really good one if you compare to any good ones you've seen in this genre before. So it's only by comparison with really bad ones, and recently we've just had on the same platform, that this one shines, okay, in its particular, the things it has done better than the other ones. But honestly speaking, it's not the really good ones either. I like a couple of things, like I said earlier, that both characters have mouth and they would talk to each other. Also, I like the fact that it doesn't create another prince and princess fall in love and emperors and all the high birth noble gods who don't care about what happens to, you know, little normal mortals. Although they constantly say, wherefore all the all the mortals in this world we do sacrifice, but no, they only fall in love and they mess everybody's life up, and all the mortals will do better if you don't exist type of xianxia we've seen too many times in recent years. This drama, as this fantasies of idol period drama, happens to have all the main characters pretty much are like not in that world setting. They're just human, or just an animal demon, or just some fairy of a land. They're just like olden days, 仙剑奇侠 days of 仙侠. It could be a fox, it could be a bird, it could be a shadow, and they're not princes. They don't own the fate of the whole universe. And it's like, what a good thing for change. Unlike the other drama, at the end of the whole drama, they have to chat for 20 minutes when the whole world is breaking down. And she is the goddess now. She finally is an immortal goddess. And she's like, the first thing she can think of is, we have time to have a chat when the whole world is breaking down in front of our eyes. Sorry, I have to compare it to the other drama again. I mean, in comparison, this drama is just so much better. But then, if you just look at it, right, as itself, it's like, is it such a good story? It's so well written, and then acting is like, it's okay, but it's definitely not the top-notch stuff, anything. I mean, looking at the budget and looking at what it looks like, it's a very standard yoku fantasy drama that, you know, it's all sets, right? Like, you can see it's all sets, and sometimes it's built quite roughly. Lighting is also the typical yoku type of lighting. Looks like some green screen is very obvious, and then the CG is very cartoon. This is the most cartoonish, like 宝宝仙侠 in China. We're calling it baby 仙侠 or kids cartoon channel 仙侠, where all those fairies and little things, they're so cute. They're like watching animation instead of actually a fantasy drama. So that department is like limited by budget, but it's cute, like in its own way, quite adorable. So it has that. It's too naive for kindergarten kids, but just about perfect for university college students. It's a joke, but you get it. In China, people call this type of drama 宝宝仙侠, little baby 仙侠, which is quite adorable. But then it shows like it doesn't have money, right? And then in terms of the acting of the the main characters, good enough for the story narrative purpose. But in terms of like how good, like can they actually save the drama or lift the drama a level up with their acting? Not really. Okay. Joye is okay, and she's better than a couple of other dramas she's been in, but you can't like that's about it. You can't say more about wow it's gorgeous and great. No, Ho Min Hao. When it's like the normal things, he's okay. When it needs to get super emotional and of a very high list of like recently just happened also in the 15 episode, end of 14, beginning of 15, when she says very clearly that I like you. And for real this time, not because I'm under a spell of something. I like you for real, and he rejected her. That scene is on the brink of breaking down because his acting cannot quite hold it. That expression on his face is just like I have the feeling he's trying his best, but he's just like not quite making it happen. So his acting is also at the point where it probably is okay for 80 to 90% of the plot of the drama, but then when it gets to those moments, not yet there. That's my honest opinion about this drama. So I don't have a big problem with it so far. Needs to see how they deal with the male second love, emotional, the romantic line, and then the later parts too, to see if this drama goes up or stays or falls down. It's too early to tell, right? It has 40 episodes, I think. It's like only 15 at this point. So honestly speaking, I think with the acting, like how capable these two young actors are, based on so far the 15 episodes I've seen, it's unlikely that there's gonna be phenomenal performances later, even when the plot needs to get to that point, right? It would be very hard, and it's definitely beyond their reach. So like right now, okay. So let's see what's gonna happen. And yeah, those are just my opinion. Don't have to agree with me. Don't worry about that. Also, just because I think for these two actors, Joye and Ho Min Hao, I just have zero filter on them, like good or bad. So on the positive, because based on their previous works, like really good rosy filter or really bad filter, I have none of that. It's like completely neutral to me. So I just look at them. I'm like, okay, fine. A friend of mine really likes Ho Min Hao, so she is definitely wearing that rosy filter, and she enjoying it much more than I do, and I just so understand it. But I'm just looking at it, I was like, it's a pretty standard story, and those characters so far are written as very reasonable people. Let's hope it continues. So that's another xianxia that's going on right now. Rosy for dragons overall. Which type of dragon? Because Western dragon and Chinese dragons are totally different things. Till the end of the moon got better. Okay, maybe. I don't know. I just got very shocked about certain things, you know, like the actual plot that happened in the drama later. It was very confusing about the way it's written and what it has too many landmines. I keep stepping on that. Yeah. And I made my first video around episode how many? 13, 14, something like that. And that was already the first breakup sex, right? And I was like, it's so weird. And then it also ends up with another breakup sex. I'm like, oh, come on, can we not do that? I don't know, I don't appreciate that kind of plot. It's just so 古早言情. And those really soapy high romance novels of the 80s. Come on, it's 2020. Can we just think about something else? You know, it makes me go like that. So that kind of plot is very personally for me. Okay. So I've talked about Till the End of the Moon. Oh no, Here Comes Trouble, Back from Brink. I think those are the three ones going on. It just happened, quite big to me at least. I've watched a couple of other dramas that I will start to make videos talking about them gradually. Somebody asked previously about the love you give me. Parts of it is good. Parts of it is I think they could work on more on the script writing. I prefer their previous one. 只是结婚关系. Only marriage, that one, I made last or the year before. I really liked it. It's a tiny drama and it's pretty poor, but I prefer that one than 只是结婚, than this one, the love you give me. But overall, I still really like these two paired up, and I'm so shocked about what a great kid actor they found for this drama that physically looked like those two actors got married and had a kid. So biologically looking alike. Unbelievable. I also watched the Grandma's New World. It's only 18 episodes. It has finished. It's a pretty interesting project. Again, so 爱奇艺. If you think about the 4 platforms going on, making dramas these days in China, that project, the Yanni led one that just finished, Yanni, Zhang Yao, Deng Enxi, the 3 women, the grandma, the mom, and the daughter. If you look at this 18 episodes drama, it only can happen on 爱奇艺. It's so an 爱奇艺 type of drama. You can't even imagine it exists on Youku or Tencent. And it's a very interesting project. I probably will talk about it. But it's definitely not the popularity, getting a lot of traction drama, because it's not led by popular, super young actors or anything. But it's a very interesting project. And it includes a lot of guest stars. It's like every unit story is a new guest star, and they're all pretty good actors and very, very good actors, proper actors, okay? So, if you haven't watched it, it's on iQIYI. It's called Grandma's New World. It's worth checking. If you want to see something that's a little bit, different from the 青春疼痛 romantic dramas, the youth and love and all that. I'm gonna be away for a few minutes and come back and then just tie up this. Let's see how long this live stream is gonna last. I'm just trying to cap it at the right time, not making it running on forever. So, in a bit. Okay, I'm back. Okay. Let's see if we can end before 12 and even a bit earlier. 9:30. Yeah, it's already close to 2 hours. We've said a lot of things today. I mean, last week ICE went nuts, right? So, I mean, they continued to leak out a couple of things, but not significantly. So this week is not gonna get that crazy for sure. And I was very brief last week because there were too many things. Anybody looking forward to a particular one? Mostly I see period dramas to happen this year and next. And those are the ones they already are making, like they have footage so they can talk about it. There are ones they haven't started shooting at all, but also probably would happen, such as Nirvana in Fire 3. It's also theirs. Casting is not even out, so they don't have anything. They can't talk about it now. But I mean, if we're lucky, we're gonna see the drama by the end of next year. I'm hoping for it, okay? And I can't imagine who they're gonna cast for the 2 male leads. Whoever they are, it's gonna be huge. In terms of people are gonna be very staring at it with a microscope and staring at it with binoculars, and wanting to know if it's gonna work out. In a way, I almost feel the casting for Nirvana and Fire 3, the 2 guys, it would be harder than any real BL novels, because it's 2 male lead. It's just not BL. Definitely not, but it's period drama, it's about war, it's about generals, it's about fighting, it has wuxia element, it has country, the big ideas like the 2 dramas previously had. And it's gonna have the great young people in the mess of politics and war. I mean, just think about that. How much halo it's gonna add onto the male actors, whoever they are, who got picked for this drama. So Nirvana and Fire 3, although it's not on this list we've just talked about last week, it's one hidden huge bomb waiting to explode. And can't wait for any news on that. 虞书欣 and Zheng Linghe one. Yeah, I actually feel that one is a little bit interesting more than others, just because the dark vibe. And the whole sort of assassin thing is just so sexy, and I know it's a very sort of typical story, but it definitely is in for a lot of very heightened moments, for sure. Click will actually be filmed. Link click, what is that? Hidden Love is rumored for June. And a couple of dramas have already been talked about that will come out from May to July. And including some on this list, like we've talked about last week. Some of them have kind of got scheduled, I think. Supposedly the Love You 7 times is gonna come out in July. We shall see if that's true. And the Ningan Rulong and also is lined up. June, there's another, like I've got to know like some kind of rumor recently. Let me check about a couple of dramas that are lined up for this month onwards to summer. Maybe I missed it. Yeah, I've read it somewhere, but it's hard to find it now. Anyway, some of the dramas we've already seen last week is gonna show up soon enough. Young Blood has gotten a license already this week. It's already past censorship, so I mean, Mango is like, making sense for Mango to just like release it now. Why not? Why not? Joy of Life 2 next year, yes, probably. Hey, because they're filming now, so next year. Nirvana and Fire, if happens, probably very end of next year, because they haven't even started moving. And if you can get shooting third quarter of this year, then you have to wait till next year. It wouldn't be fast enough. Who knows 正午阳光 what they're doing for picking the people. Wu Lei and Zhao Jinwai, yeah, that one is still Is it finished or still filming? The Finland. They started the whole thing in Finland. I don't know, like, how good Ole is at snooker. Is he good? I have no idea. I know he's like very good at horse riding and muscly thing. But the actor Wang Ziqi is actually a professional, I think, semi-professional, professional snooker player. This guy knows everything. He can swim. He's a professional swimmer, and he also is. I recently discovered he's actually really, really professional at playing that, and I'm like, wow, he has some crazy skills. I've seen in the videos he does with. Journey of Love, Journey to Love. Do you mean the 刘诗诗? 刘诗诗, 刘宇宁 one? Because there are two dramas that has journey. One is like a journey to love. The other one is my journey to you. It's very confusing. The English titles are so boring. 白敬亭, yeah, 白敬亭 and Song Yi, right? For real. Like now it's a real couple playing a couple. The kisses are real. Imagine that. Legend of Kondo Great Hero. I know there are a couple that's being made right now. There's a drama, there's a film, there's like, I don't know which one you're talking about. Because the Kondo Hero thing is just so many versions, right? I think there's just a film that's being announced, but it hasn't started moving. And then there was a drama version that was made, but by very low-key people who are not really talking about it. But one of the, I think the actor playing Guo Jing is Cixia from Pledge of Allegiance. That really good-looking guy who looks a little bit like Jin Chengwu, who is an ethnic minority, Yizu, I think. Somebody, did you just, Abdullah? You probably just came in. I've already talked about it, but then wait till this finishes and you can rewind. There's a part I've already talked extensively about back from the brink. Because Liu Shishi has two, right? Liu Shishi has 狐妖小红娘 and then 一念关山. I'm a little bit worried, honestly, about 一念关山. 狐妖小红娘, I'm not sure because I haven't even seen the Yang Mi one. So once you see the Yang Mi one, you kind of get an idea about what type of drama it would be, and then the second sort of version on that, maybe you can gauge it better. But for 一念关山, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Right now, I really cannot be sure. One is, that drama is dubbed. I mean, Liu Shishi never really does her own voice in dramas. She did it in film, but not in drama. And let's hope it's not a huge problem. But that would mean if she is dubbed for the drama, then she basically cannot get any words for it. Whatever happens with it, right? And Liu Yuning, he's a better singer than actor. And at least so far with all the stuff he's been in, that's my impression. I don't know if he's improved. It's a little, maybe it's also because he's such a persona on internet doing live streaming. It kind of affects your impression of him. When you think, like when he plays those very serious fighters in period dramas and the stern-faced like Jin Yiwei kind of row, and then you just like the images of him speaking in Dongbei dialect and singing for his fans and joke in his live streaming start to come in your brain and start to mess with that impression. It gets really weird. It's almost like you can't deal with him being stern-faced, because he's the moment the director says cut, he may just slip back to his Dongbei accent and start to be really funny. I do think that actually affects my reception of him a little bit. So not quite sure the Liu Yuning drama, how it's gonna turn out. We have to, like, until it comes out, right, see that. I mean, he just wrapped a drama with Song Zu'er, 折腰, Prisoner of Beauty. They just wrapped this week. So he's got a lot of things coming. Another period drama that's very torture heavy, I think. Yeah, Liu Yuning is busy. 庄大飞 so far hasn't really done anything that's super impressive. I mean, there are three girls, which is very funny, who look almost exactly the same style, not this face. There are three young actresses, similar age, and they all belong to the Beijing circle of entertainment business, who are the young flowers that are being pushed to the front recently by previous established industry people. There are three, and they're Li Gengxi, Zhang Dafei, Xiang Hanzhi. And all three of them are the same style looking ladies who are slender, quite slender built and tall, and then who have the very, what we call 淡颜, who's like, their features are very mild, light, gentle, intrusive, and not very strong in any way, but they're just overall very 小白花, little white flower, young actresses, and they all belong to the Beijing circle. And those are the three. Like, think about Xiang Hanzhi, she's in Loving Time, and also the one with Wang Anyu that I've made videos about previously. Zhang Dafei, she's been in a couple of contemporary dramas. The best known, I think, is still the I Don't Want to Be Friends with You. I Want to Be Friends. Yeah, that drama. And then Li Gengxi has been in quite a few. Right, she probably has been in more well-known dramas in comparison with the other two. But the three of them is they're so interesting. They're almost the same type of looking actress and belonging to the same circle. Then they're being pushed by different companies and different previous established industry people. We'll see, in the next couple of years, who's gonna come out on top. Manga, where the mainly. Oh, interesting. Link Click is a Chinese manga. Huh. I should go search it. If anybody can tell me a Chinese name, that would be helpful. I mean, in a way, you can say Li Gengxi, Zhang Dafei, and Xiang Hanzhi are all a little bit like that, right? But even like, you can say Liu Yuning is quite 资源咖. I mean, what has he done to actually allow him to get so many lead roles recent years? Akina, thank you for your super chat. That's such adorable. Is that a fox or a dog? Oh, adorable. Like, you can also say, I don't quite get why Liu Yuning suddenly got so many roles in period dramas, particularly recent years. Because in no ways would I think of him as the first choice of any production, unless, like, he comes in with money, basically. Because first, his height is too tall. It's very hard to film him with other actors and actresses. And the practicality on set is something that you have to consider, which is why very tall actors usually report their height lower, such as Hu Yitian. I think he's definitely over 190, but he would say he's 188 or 89. Liu Yuning is way too tall, so it's very hard to film him with other people. Also, he's not a professional actor. I mean, in terms of acting, there are definitely better choices out there for most of the roles. And he's really good at singing. And I just stick with singing. Like, you're so good. And polish that, make it even better. Like, why do you have to enter the acting game? I mean, yeah, you can't stop it, They have their choices. But sometimes I feel so many dramas have him in it. And they're not small productions. They're not tiny ones. They're actually quite major ones. And I don't know, like, there definitely are people pushing him for intentionally. Another actor who has, I have no idea what his background is, right? Or like, not untold background, but I have a strong feeling he definitely has support beyond normal range, which is Huang Jingyu. I'm not quite sure exactly, but he gets so many films and televisions. In terms of acting, he's just From day one until now, he hasn't really changed much. Like, he's always like that. And again, if you just look at from acting point of view, why, you know, they would pick him other than other people, you don't quite fully understand. But he gets a lot of resources. And also, if you notice, he often gets credited as number one, the first actor of most of the, I think all the productions he's been in. When sometimes you don't quite understand why. He hasn't gotten that popular. He doesn't have that many fans. He's not so high profile. You know, in terms of entertainment business, you know, some people's names stay on trending all the time, like Yang Mi, Dili Reba. Those people are like constantly there. But he is really not that. Yet, every drama he's in, his name is on top of the other person. Like, compared to Dili Reba, he's credited first. Compared to Li Qing, he's first. Even like, I think in dramas he's definitive male lead, so he would come before the older actors. And when he's less established, but when you have like, you know, two main leads, like a male and a female, he always comes first. So I'm just guessing there's definitely untold background of this person that you're not like, it's not in public domain, but he definitely has some background. It's just too, like, you know, unless it's for that reason, you can't see why, type of thing. I've heard about that name in Chinese. Thank you. I just, yeah, when it's English, I'm like, what is that? 时光代理人. I'll go look up. I've definitely heard about that name. Lauren Hometown, Li Xian and Zhou Yutong. Yeah. I don't quite expect that pairing too, but I feel like that pairing may be just too sweet and soft. Li Xian and Zhou Yutong. Both of them, like, Li Xian is very squirrel cheeked, and when he smiles, he's just too adorable to make you feel he's a cool guy, you know? Although, like, he's in leather jackets and rides a motorcycle, you're like, yeah, but when he smiles, he's a squirrel in human form. And then Zhou Yutong is also so soft, like, she's so soft and gentle. So two very soft people coming together. I have no idea about any Xiaozhan news. You have to resort to your own research. I also don't get any push of his news to me because of, you know, it just happens to be internet decides to, yeah, it's complicated. Anyway, so I have no idea what's going on. 唱 OST 唱得好的土壤谣言一番男主的白鹿问 What is that? I can't quite understand. Okay. Hello, Jenny. You just showed up, and I'm about to, like, probably ending this soon. I'm probably ending this live streaming soon. MG, you shouldn't be asking that question. Don't get your hope high. Well, I don't know, like, even till today, people still have the secret hope of BL is gonna work. Just look at what happens to Justice in the Dark. Let's just, like, if you want to hope, just hope that thing can finish airing first. It's like release the next, how many episodes? 28 episodes, because I think it's a 36 or something. It airs 8 episodes, and it's like, there. And then, I mean, unless that drama is weird, and then nothing weird happens, then maybe hoping for others. Otherwise, it's just like silly for it to come out now. It doesn't look very hopeful. 振兴钢厂 Chase the Light. They're joking that it's gonna be re-edited into 2 young men trying to resurrect the steel mill of their hometown. It's so funny, like the type of title that people design for it. 振兴钢厂 Why don't I put that thing on anymore? It's... I just don't want to add it because it looks ugly. I mean, I never liked adding a watermark on the video. It just looks very ugly. But previously I did it because the person keeps taking my videos. But now I'm like, yeah, whatever. If that person does it again, I'm just gonna contact them and say take it down again. But I mean, leaving it there, it's a little bit bothersome. I have one extra thing to do basically on my timeline. I have to add it on, and it's like, yeah, it's hilarious. I know, but I only can't really stop people from actually doing it if they want. I mean, you can't stop people from copying your stuff. You can't stop people from anything. You just like hope they do it, but you know, what can you do? You also cannot stop people from stalking you. Yeah, that's one thing about being a YouTuber. People have the wrong ideas. I don't know. I make a video, but I don't know who you are. I only have a lens to look at. I have no idea who's gonna watch the video. It's not in my control. And if somebody have like weird ideas about like I'm talking to them personally, I'm like, why do you think of that? Like, have you ever lived on Earth? Do you not understand how video works? So you can't stop any of those things. You know, I get weird emails. Sometimes I'm like, 物种多样性. Oh, my mailbox is a display of the diversity of human race. Trademark too. Oh yeah, I have stalkers. Yeah. Yeah, it comes with internet. F it, who cares? Well, I think it happens to most of the YouTubers if they ever like have more than 1,000 subscribers. Who cares, really? The world may end before anything can happen. We can head into Third World War. We can head into nuclear winter. We can head into Yellowstone explode on us, and we're all toast for a whole generation. We may get a meteor coming out of nowhere nobody has seen, you know, next day, and then the whole world is in hellfire. Before anything can happen. Like tomorrow, maybe the Earth is no longer here. Who knows? All possibilities. So, probably gonna end this in a couple of minutes. Yeah, and while it lasts, have fun as much as you can and not get bothered by those things. One thing I've learned is stop worrying because you can't control anything anyway. Yeah, joy of life. The Tencent must have given so much priority to these people. I don't know, to make them all come back. Why you did not wear spectacles for your current? It's just like sometimes you don't. Like now I have glasses on. In case you haven't noticed, I have like really not prominent nose bridge to the point it almost does not exist, and no glasses can really sit very comfortably on my nose no matter how you adjust these two things. It doesn't quite work no matter how, and the best people take like all their effort and can make it happen very well. So wearing glasses is always like not so comfortable for me, just because you see how it slides. It never stays. It cannot, and hasn't for my entire life. It has never worked. So Occasionally I get too tired. I just like, I think when I was in high school I started wearing contacts. Recent years not that much, but I do feel it's too tiring for the muscles around here to always just have to take this weight. So occasionally I take them down, and that day is easier than the glass wearing days. Hidden blade. I just found out about it. Hidden blade, hidden blade, hidden blade, hidden blade. What is the Chinese name? I've heard about the English name. I'm a little bit offline. I can't quite remember. Yeah, I mean, without glasses, it just makes my days easier. But then, you know, at night it starts to get really dry, and then you have to take it out. I do wear contacts. I wear both of them, but just previously I never really do them with videos. Well, it's nothing specific. It's just like one day you want it. One day you want to wear contacts. The other day you want to wear glasses. That's it. Yeah. Well, ideally I don't want to have short-sightedness, but I have it, and both my parents have it. So I definitely have it in the genes. Luckily, I'm in 21st century. If I was in like 18th century, imagine my pain. I would never be able to see people clearly unless they're right in front of my face. Imagine that. I'd rather not live if that's my life. Warby Parker. Really? Does it have like a really weird structure of the frame that helps it to somehow stand on anything? Also, I have very oily skin, in case you can see the shine. Nothing can... I mean, it's so funny. Like, I watch those YouTube beauty YouTubers who do like makeup review, and they would talk about foundations, and this is like oil controlling, and that is like this is, but nothing. I have never encountered one foundation that will not make me shine in the forehead for more than, say, after 1 hour. So the best thing I think that has happened is like about half an hour, 40 minutes, and afterwards I start to shine like a light bulb. And you can do like whatever oil control foundation, and then on top of that having loose powder, and it looks great. If you watch any of my live stream, you'll see my face keeps getting more shinier. 40 minutes, right? 40 minutes before, after you've put it on, no matter what brand, like all the ones I've tried, the best ones, oil control ones. My forehead disagrees. It's gonna shine. See how shiny it is? So I have very oily skin, and another genetics I unfortunately inherited from my dad, who also is never without shine. Okay, and so the glasses keeps slide down, like it wouldn't stay. It's too lubricating. It just comes down. It comes down. Nothing can stop it. And even if you like take the oil off with whatever, like 5 minutes later it starts to. You can't have a constant, like, you know. So oxidization and sliding glasses comes with my life. Can't stop it from happening. Yeah. Yeah, when you have it, it's again like nothing you can do about it. My mom happens to have great skin. Never had acne. Never had oily skin. Very good. And I totally missed her gene. She completely was selfish on that she didn't give me any of that gene. So, I'm left with my dad's oily skin, and I have never lived one moment without blemish ever since adolescence, really. It always is like there's some breakouts, some acne marks, I never had one moment from then on to now when there's one day when it's a clean face for me. I don't even know what I look like if I can naturally, without makeup, look like that. And I don't know, maybe until I'm 80, it's still gonna be like that. imagine, like, you need acne control when you're 80. What would be, huh? Unbelievable. Yeah, diversity of human race. Bai Lu had a good, yeah, because that drama is so solid. The writing is so solid, and the director is such a no joking director in the industry. Ding He, he's been around for so long and so respected that nobody is gonna come and, you know, like actors, even when you're famous, you're not gonna argue with him. Oh no. And that production is done by serious, highly respected writers and directors. And you'd be feeling like you're lucky that if you get casted in for that drama. So the ordinary one is, yeah, but then once you get into the fantasy drama land where things starts to I feel so bad for you. You inherited all the bad things from your parents. Life is unfair. Life is unfair. Oh, there's so many things we can talk about genetics where you just like, why? So frustrating. It's so hard to get super good genes, right? It's like drawing blind lottery. Reincarnation lottery. The hardest one. Christina, I understand you. I understand you so much. You're like, you're my mom, but how can you be so different? Oh, talking about like mother, I feel like the casting also in Oh No, Here Comes Trouble. They pick such good actor for the grandfather, father, mother, and son for the male lead family. They really look like they can be genetically related in that way. So the young actor of the grandfather and the actor of father have similarity in build and style. But then when you have the mother role with the actress who's very slender and tall and has a long elongated face, and the eyebrow and the nose, like that structure. And when you imagine these two come together, they give birth to a kid who looks like Zheng Jinhua. And it makes perfect sense. Like you can see that genetic change of the people in the family. When I was watching that, I'm like, wow, like how did they find, like how it's just so perfect, and it makes sense that that mother and this father can create a kid look like that. For those, yeah, the dramas, when they do it, it's just like, wow, amazing. Recently, that's a good one. The other one is The Love You Give Me. When they find the perfect kid for Wang Yuwen and Wang Ziqi. Wang Yibo film, I haven't watched it. It's a fighter jet one. Until it goes on internet. I know it gets ranted a lot about in China because of its mistakes in actually depicting the profession in a very sort of technical ways, like the playing, the CG is wrong, or like certain procedures of this and that definitely does not exist in reality. Also, like the whole idea of he personally handmade something to change that playing is like, first the thing that he attached to the playing, I think in the plot is just, it's not something you need to invent now. It has been invented a long time ago. Also, it's just never gonna happen when you like 手搓 do it by hand. And for professional, like people who are in the airplane industry and also in military, in Air Force, it's just too funny for them to look at the validity of the plot. And I think that's what gets ranted most about the film. But in terms of the film, I haven't watched it, so I'll wait till it comes out and see, you know. But from what I gather on internet, at least on the hardware end of things, people are like, it's like, but that thing does not really work in engineering in reality at all. You know, like that. Golden hairpin? First, you have to spend an insane amount of money to completely face swap the male lead of a 40 to 60 episodes long drama. Imagine. I mean, even with these days AI and deepfake, it's gonna be so expensive. Second thing, if you want to air that drama, you also have to find an actor who is willing to replace his face. Okay, if you're in a superstitious way, do you want your face to replace a guy who got in prison because of that? And also, if you want your own career in the future that then never gets sort of like attached to somebody, would you be willing to your face to? I mean, previously there is an actor whose face swapped Zhai Tianling in the drama, but Zhai Tianling got cancelled because of academic integrity problem. That is, in Chinese people's mind, not so bad a thing, unfortunately. Like, it's definitely not rape. So that actor did it probably for money or whatever, and it's not a huge problem. But I mean, anyone, imagine like they would be willing to face swap Chris. Ooh. It's gonna be very hard trying to find somebody who want to do that, you know. So with the finding the person and also the actual cost of doing that, golden hairpin may be better, it just stays there. And imagine if it actually get redone and then released. How mean people are gonna be about it too. Maybe even like, I'm even thinking about, even from Yang Zi's point of view, she probably would not want that drama to air now. It's not like she doesn't have other things, you know, so why stick with this one? It's gonna be so expensive. Reshoot, really? So all the guys shot gets reshot? Wow, oh my god. You know, they did it with the Fan Bingbing and Gao Yunxiang one, the Qin Shi Huang and Ba Qing drama. And that's the biggest fail in drama history in terms of how unlucky and how double cancel they can get. First, when the drama was being made, it got already reported by a lot of people because it completely messes up with Qing history. And it's so not realistic to history. And Qin Shi Huang is the first emperor of China. He is different from every other emperor, okay? And there's this mysterious and almost a superstitious belief that you can't mess up with this person. Otherwise, you're gonna get karma. Karma is gonna come back as a bitch. And then, well, it happened to this drama. So first, when they're doing it, it got already a lot of complaint. And then you have the male lead actor being incarcerated in Australia of a sexual assault case, and that toasted this drama. And they reshoot it, right? All the guys' part, spending extra money on a lot of money with Li Chen, who is at the time boyfriend of Fan Bingbing, to replace him. And once that's done, Fan Bingbing got toasted because of tax thing, and she got cancelled. So now I think, wow, like how much bad luck can you get in one production? It's really like a world record bad luck. So now that drama is, I don't think it ever is gonna in any way get released. And it's almost like the curse of Qin Shi Huang, the curse of the first emperor of China is in the work. Okay, you mess with me, see what happens to you. And it's very rare to have both leads getting permanently cancelled for criminal, well, not criminal, like, I mean, Fan Bingbing didn't go to prison, but the fines she got. The fines she got is enough for 10 lifetimes of Avenue X having a luxurious life. And I'm like, whoa, the world is insane. Yeah, Yang Zi's Changxiangsi probably will air also. Sooner, like, you know, like in summer, I have the feeling like they wouldn't wait anymore. Like, you should just like air it. It's Tencent, right? Yeah, Changxiangsi. Has any actors come back? No, in China, when you're cancelled, you're cancelled. Unless China no longer exists. I mean, but as long as the current China is current China, then you're cancelled, you're cancelled. And there are a couple of like really red tape thing is, if it happens, you're dead forever. One is drug reusing. Oh, it's death forever. I mean, check Chinese history and Opium War, and that is like the high voltage line you don't touch. And anything to do with 民族, like the nation's history is also high voltage line you don't touch. Recently somebody just, like some talk show just got completely buried in China because they touched another high voltage line, which is to do with politics and army. I mean, it's the same thing. Like if you're in US, right, you joke about black people, Jewish people, and then military, you're dead. You're dead. Like, it does not matter who you are, you're dead. Just similar things in China. So recently there's the very famous roast kind of show in China that's done by this company. They've recently, yesterday or the day before, happened in China. It got completely toasted. The company and their future shows and the people in it, and criminal charges in the future, like looking for criminal, because there's a criminal offense of in China if you, I think, what is that? Insult certain like national heroes or important like historical, like national heroes. There's a very specific law in China, and you can't do that. This person joked on China's army, and he is effed, and his company is fined 10 times of the income of that show, which is insane amount of money. And then all their future performances is on halt. May come back, may not, for all cities. So right now they're under sort of like surveillance, and they can't put out any show now. So, their high voltage line, you just never can touch and cross. You burn instantly and completely, and you're ashified. Okay? If that's a word. You're like incinerated, and then you're never coming back. Publicly, I mean, privately, if you do something like, not like anybody can do anything about that, but publicly, and any sane company would not hire you, right? They're not gonna be wasting their investment money just so that they can test out if it works. YouTube suggests anything has nothing to do with if anybody, because YouTube is not in China. It doesn't get controlled by China. Like I said, certain high voltage line, touch it once, you are forever cancelled in China. Is that clear enough? Unless China is no longer China, okay? Drug, the national history thing. And certain people you cannot touch. Certain organizations and certain sort of presence you can. Like army is one of them. And it's very, very... it's just... I mean, I find it's really silly that people do it. For just like a couple of lines fun, like make a joke of a live show like that. And then, did you grow up in China? Do you even know like how things work? It's just... Yeah, it baffles me sometimes. People are so ignorant. The army joke he made is he says he had 2 stray dogs he got from the mountains. They're wild dogs. And he realized they're not cute at all. They are... Then he said, they are like this. So the adjective is a sentence. And it's a sort of 12-character sentence that kind of got formed and stayed there as a whole, which is the description of Chinese People's Liberation Army. And what kind of army we are this kind of army, and there's 12 characters, and he used 8 of them, switched the orders around, and because that term has been since day one a specific coin term for army in China. So when you say the 2 dogs are like, that's what he said. And he did it twice, I think, on the same day on 2 different shows, and bam, death for you. I'm very shocked about the fact that this person, like this company can do this, and they're not aware, like the kind of red tape they're like crossing and makes me wonder what kind of education they ever got, like in China. Like, have you ever been, like, in your like 20, 30 years of life, be made aware of like there are things you just cannot do? Okay. Celebrity in China. Honestly, who cares about Chinese celebrities outside China in the big enough volume? It's the fact that whether you're a singer or you're an actor, even if you are like having a little bit international fan base, it never is anything significant like it's gonna make a difference. At least so far until this point, it hasn't happened. Even for the biggest stars, best well-known people with their names that pretty much everybody knows in the world, it is more like their names are known, but their businesses are all in China. It's not like they can go to another country and suddenly become the other country's big star. You know, even the super well-known like Gong Li, that level, it's like people just know your name, and they definitely will put you on the like a judge's seat of a major festival, film festival, award, right, or whatever. But it's like if you completely leave China and you have nothing to do with China and you make foreign films with anybody, nobody's gonna come and see it. It hasn't happened, okay, and it's unlikely yet, okay. The next half century maybe that will change, but not now. So you can live forever. Your youth is only from your sort of like 20s to your 40s, the golden time, you know, for most people. You're gonna run against the tide of history, you're just dead. And fact of that is and also just like don't ever again, like I would emphasize is like it's don't ever like seriously empathize with those people in the industry who really know, like from day one they know they're going for this business for what? They're going for popularity, fame, money. They're not gods. They're not like morality superior people. They're like they say they have dreams and inspiration or whatever. Artists, like rarely do you come across a person who actually go in for that. Honestly, they're going for money. And it's a business, and sometimes business fails, okay? And even when they fail, they're richer, like 10 times, 100 times richer. They have more properties, they have more resources, they live a life, okay? And that's so beyond your reach. So like, don't feel sorry for them. Even when they don't do certain things, you know, like don't have like the resources as they had before, okay, fine, but they're still gonna have a really good life. Don't worry about them, okay? Right, so it's like that classic line from a drama where it's like, you are a slave girl and you worry about the well-being of your slave master. How interesting. There's a period drama that had that classic line and often gets quoted these days. Yeah, so they are already on the top of the society, like a class of their own, so. Oh, it's already 12, holy shit. Okay, I should stop this soon. We are talking about current people. Bruce Lee is history. And he's gone already. It's a different time, and it's film industry. It hadn't had internet. I'm talking about now. People like actually working now, right? Honestly speaking, all the actors and like how much of outside of a China influence anybody has these days in China? Not really. Not really that significant. Like you can't even compare to K-pop in any way. Come on, be honest. Or K-drama. You know, if Chinese drama is really that big, I'd be a 1 million subscriber account, not like now. If it's like in any way as popular globally as say K-drama, numbers are very honest. All right, look at my channel. Look at my channel, right? And compared to like K entertainment channel, you understand, you know, it's not even on the same, you know, more like on the same level of numbers, you know, like there's like astronomical difference. Bizarre, someone saying they love actors so much they want to marry them. If you have a stalker, you'll know why. Okay? Oh, it happens to everybody. The world is a weird place. Yeah. Life is weird. Chris Wu and Asa. Oh, I feel trouble coming. Okay, so I probably will have to stop this in 5 minutes, okay? And then before that, you know, just if you need anything to tell, if you have something you have to tell me, you can type it out now. Yeah, in 5 minutes, because I have to go and do other things. Today I thought I could stop earlier. I didn't. The rest of the cast gets paid. Well, they already get paid. Like after, like they get paid when they are shooting already, I think. So the acting doesn't need to wait till, unless you yourself is investing in this whole project and you have a share of something, and then you know, you like after the performance you have an ad income and whatever, you get split. Unless that's the situation. If you're just hired as an actor, you already get, I think, a payment like when you sign up. And then I think in installments, after you finish shooting, they're gonna have to pay you. Why are ghosts censored in China? 封建迷信. Because it's a superstition. Yeah, superstition. Chenglong, yes, but like imagine he no longer speaks Chinese, and then he completely cuts ties with anything China, and he makes a film that's completely irrelevant to China. You know, also he's so like at the age where he I know he's still working. It's very impressive, but he belongs to the last generation of the major. I'm talking about current, in their prime. The majority of the industry of entertainment business, including singing and acting. Like I mean, the older ones are like they're already in a way on the shelves for display of the history. Although they're not gone yet. They have, like, their established role is already there, and they're not in prime market of you know what I mean. They are not doppelgangers. They don't look the same. Just like there's a little bit resemblance, but come on, they are not the same person. They don't look the same. Tang Wei's decision to leave movie? I don't know. Like, did she say forever or just for a while? You know, the second generation, the nepotism babies of the industry. They grow up in such an enclosed and sort of like privileged environment that they often are completely unaware of the fact that had it not been their parents being who they are, they would have no position at all in the industry. They get this idea about they're really there because they're good themselves, and yeah, believe that, and you as if. producer trick. No, I haven't. I don't know what that is. Oh yeah, they already got paid. Like before the drama airs, the money probably is already paid. Because their work as actors, right? Finish acting and you get your pay. Like I said, unless you are yourself the investor of the show, then obviously it's your company. It would be different. Yeah, I should end the stream now. If people who just came in recently, I've talked about a lot of things during this live stream, and you can rewind later once it finishes processing, which takes quite a bit for YouTube to do it in a couple of hours. Hi, producer Yu Zheng speak family drama. Like, you already smells dog blood. Oh no, here comes trouble. Recent recommendation, don't have that much. I mean, Grandma's New World is pretty interesting, but it's not like a super exciting drama. It doesn't have things for you to ship or any of that, like a mystified element of interest, investigation, none of that. It's just like a life diary of an old lady's encounter with the new world, episodically in different things. It's pretty interesting. It's IT drama, but I don't think it's if it's not your cup of tea, it's not something you have to go in and watch. But if you watch it, you probably will find it's actually quite lovely drama. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so I should end this live stream now. Thanks for everyone. It's a super chat, and then people who've joined this. Hope you have a good rest of this month. Next month we're gonna get hot and in June, and I may go away in summer for a bit. We shall see how that works out. Yeah, finally I can travel after so many years. This is the 48th live stream I've done, and I haven't actually broken one, I think. So that how many years has that been? Count the numbers yourself. Unbelievable. Okay, so likely to see the first break of not having monthly live stream or weekly report. Like that probably would be 1 week or two that gets broken in the summer. If I travel, then sometimes time just cannot work out, right? So let's see what happens. We would need internet VPN to work perfectly if that happens. Please take care. I'll see you in my next video. Saturday, very soon.